Hello, everyone. It's
Hello.
What's your favorite what if story? Tell us in the comments as we're talking about tonight's topic, and that is what if the Disney Marvel animated series. What is your favorite episode of the show or episode of comic? Let us know. We'd love to hear it from you. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Christopher Hall,
Hello, hello.
and let's see what we got going on. What is it not doing? That's why it's not doing it. Okay. It doesn't want to share a screen as usual. You know how it is.
Yep.
There we go. What If? Seasons 1 through 3. Created by A.C. Bradley. Writers are A.C. Bradley, Matthew Chauncey, Ryan Little, and Brian Anders. Directors are Brian Anders and Stefan Frank. Executive producers A.C. Bradley, Brian Anders, Victoria Alonso, Luis D'Esposito, Kevin Feige, Brad Winderbaum, and Dana Vasquez Eberhardt. Producers Kerry Weisenar, Daniel Costa, Dana Vasquez Eberhardt, and Alex Scarf. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Starring Jeffrey Wright as Uatu the Watcher and a buttload of former MCU cast members returning to roles including Haley Atwell, Jimmy Renner, Sebastian Stan, Samuel L. Jackson. The list goes on and on. Neil McDonough, Chadwick Boseman, Karen Ginn, Michael Rooker, Iman Hansu, Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, Josh Brolin, Seth Green, Kurt Russell, Michael Douglas, Tom Hiddleston, Mark Ruffalo, the entire cast of Doctor Strange, Evangeline Lilly, Paul Rudd, John Favreau, Emily McCann, Kat Dennings, etc., ad nauseum. I was going to have 4 freaking pages if I listed everybody.
Take a breath.
Yes.
We should say the contractually obligated stars.
That's about the truth, because the only ones that didn't appear were the ones that, like, there was no Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans.
Yeah, because they probably didn't realize how big this was going to be. The MCU was going to be when they made their movies. So
yeah,
they probably didn't have a contractual agreement to appear in anything having to do with the MCU. So
yeah. So what is it about? I'll let you read it.
All right. Time, space, reality. It's more than a lingering path. It's a prism of endless possibilities, where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds from the ones you know. And the Watcher is your guide to these vast new realities, where all you have to do is open your mind to the question, what if?
In which we explore possibilities such as, what if Captain Carter were the first Avenger? Where Steve Rogers is wounded as a sabotage attempt to destroy the Super Soldier program takes place, and Peggy Carter takes the serum instead. Or what if T'Challa became Star-Lord? Yondu and the Ravagers kidnap T'Challa instead of Peter Quill and become Robin Hood types. What if the world had lost its mightiest heroes? Nick Fury struggles to form the Avengers as the members are assassinated before they can even form a team. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? Losing his beloved Christine, Stephen Strange looks for a way to bring her back. At what cost? What if zombies? What it says. There's not much to that one. What if Thor were an only child? Also known as Thor being the Asgardian frat party boy. What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? Revisiting Captain Carter, a recurring theme in this series, where Peggy has to fight up against the brainwashed Steve Rogers in his Hydra Stomper armor after she thought he was dead. Or what if Kahori reshaped the world? The first all-new character from What If is featured a Mohawk woman who gains incredible abilities from the Tesseract, also known as a Cosmic Cube. Or what if Hela found the 10 rings? After being bashed Earth by powerless by Odin, Hela learns the ways of the martial arts and joins the Clan of the Rings and battles Odin to reclaim herself and protect her new family. Or what if the Avengers assembled in 1602? Captain Carter, again, has been brought back to 1602 and meets familiar faces, both friend and foe. What if Strange Supreme intervened? Doctor Strange returns, and he's not the good guy. You can read some more.
All right. In which we explore endless possibilities, such as what if Howard the Duck got hitched, in which Howard marries Darcy and they have a child, Ew, whom Yondu is tasked with kidnapping, and oh boy, here we go again. What if 1872, Shang-Chi and Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, are a pair of Old West justice seekers seeking revenge for the loss of their families to a human trafficking group. Only things, only things aren't what they seem. What if the Watcher disappeared? The Watcher has disappeared and chaos ensues. It's up to Captain Carter and her all-woman team of Kahori, Asgardian Storm, and Birdie the Duck, Howard and Darcy's daughter, to find him and right the universe. What if the ladies rescue Uatu, the Watcher reveals his name, and battles the Watchers for Uatu's life and their own?
Okay, lots of stuff there. What did I think? Well, when I first started the series, I thought each episode was going to be a standalone story by itself. The episodes that are this, those are the ones that are my favorite episodes, like the Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop episode.
Yeah.
But the creators decided to make the running narrative throughout the seasons with recurring characters and themes that, for me, got a little dry and boring. Part of the whole point of What If is that we have all the variant universes, so why keep returning to the same characters and story ideas? I wanted to see new stuff, not variations of the same things over and over. We get enough of that in the regular MCU, don't you know? But I do understand why the creator writers were going, and I get the whys of it, because part of it was, I suspect, Disney and Marvel's perspective was to get viewers to go watch other MCU shows that are there. I just guess for me, I would have just preferred standalone adventures akin to the actual comics more. And when I say the actual comics, I mean the actual What If series.
Right.
Did I just hear thunder over there?
You did, yeah. Giant thunderstorm going on here.
Okay, thought so. I did like Kahori and her origin story. And while I was not particularly happy about Howard and Darcy, I just that didn't really work for me per se. I did think
so many levels of ick.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much the ick. I mean, it's not like Howard doesn't have a girlfriend in Beverly Switzer in the regular comic.
I know, but still.
Yeah, so it's not like that's. But anyway, Birdie is a character that made, as a concept, made that concept watchable and enjoyable later on when she's an adult and she's joining Peggy and the all-woman team. So I can live with it. But Peggy, as the constant traveler in and out of the universes and changing things and being a quote-unquote threat to the multiverse, got a little bit heavy-handed, in my opinion. Just saying. Now, my favorite episodes were Episode 1, What If Captain Carter were the first Avenger. Episode 4, What If Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands. Episode 8, What If Ultra won. Episode 14, What If Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper. Episode 15, What If Kahori reshaped the world. Episode 19, What If the Hulk fought the Mecha Avengers, which was a cool one-shot story. What If the Emergence destroyed the Earth, which was the Riri Williams episode, which was kind of a one-shot again. And episode 24, What If 1832, which was the Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop episode. And again, I did like seeing Birdie, and I thought Natasha Lyonne voicing her character was really cool for the part in the last two episodes as well. Chris?
All right, so my favorite episodes were What If Captain Carter were the first Avenger? What If Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? Episode 9, What If the Watcher broke his oath? Episode 16, What If Hela found the 10 rings? And episode 25, What If the Watcher disappeared?
Okay.
Okay.
No. Let's talk a little bit about those episodes before we get into what's going to be talking about possible season 4.
All right.
We both agree on episode number 1.
I feel that's a seminal episode. That's like a must-have to the series.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, first off, it sets up everything, but it's just a really well done, executed idea.
It is.
And it played also not just into what was done in the Captain America movie, it played well into what was done in the Agent Carter television series, where she was always being blown off as an agent by her superiors in S.H.I.E.L.D., or the pre-S.H.I.E.L.D. It wasn't actually S.H.I.E.L.D. yet.
Right.
I forget what it was called. where they're like, you can't do nothing because you're a woman, type nonsense. That I know it was something that was was part of the society back then, but at the same time, I talked to people who actually lived in that area, in that era, and they say that it's always overplayed and overshadowed in the shows, that they overplay it too much. It wasn't as bad as it's being presented in the shows.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
I don't know I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, it could be just the way they perceive it, too, because
Right.
It's hard to say, but it's interesting.
I just assumed it was kind of like what station you were born into,
Mm-hmm.
who you were, who your family was, and how far you were trying to go.
Yeah.
Like, if you were trying to climb the ranks, I'm assuming there was a cap, and the men were like, "Oh, nope, that's enough for you. You stay down there."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We both also enjoyed episode 4, the Doctor Strange introduction. There was the fact that it was kind of playing up both what was already done in the original movie and Multiverse of Madness. I kind of wish they'd gone away from the Multiverse of Madness angle with it a little bit more than they did, but it was well executed in terms of what it was how it was presented. What do you think?
Absolutely. It was another. I liked it because it was another one of those seminal episodes that you really had to watch and understand to get the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed watching Doctor Strange. Like absorb all the freaking demons and all that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand the madness. Of I want her to live, but she's destined to die in every reality. So that drove him insane. So I get that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Now,
and I also have to say, episode 1, I really liked Steve in the Hydra Stomper.
Right. Yes.
I thought that was incredibly cool.
Right. We'll get to that one in just a little bit. Now, I happen to like What If Ultron won, as one of my favorites. I happen to like the idea of Vision actually being what Vision was intended to be. Because Vision actually becomes Ultron, so to speak, in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he has all the power stones and everything. So it's like it was a well-conceived episode from what it was done. You didn't care for that one as much, though.
I liked it. The only problem I had with it was, and this is just me being pedantic and, Vision only having the Mind Stone. I mean, still being Ultron, but only having the Mind Stone. Mm-hmm. And Thanos shows up with the gauntlet with, like, all the stones.
Mm-hmm.
And Vision just, one shot right down the middle, kills him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a cheap shot. I thought that was just kind of like a convenient way to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So I didn't care for that.
Okay. Now, your next favorite episode was episode 9, which was the Watcher breaking his oath the first time.
Yes.
And I presume that's because, again, it's seminal to understand the overall story arc of the 3 seasons.
Right, yeah. If the Watcher never broke his oath, then a lot of other things wouldn't happen. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a fantastic episode.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's see. They both liked favorite episode of Captain Carter fighting the Hydra Stomper, which, of course, is a brainwashed Steve Rogers in the Hydra Stomper. And she had thought that she lost him because, of course, he theoretically dies in the first episode. And she didn't really believe he died because, no, the Stomper's invincible. He'll be in the suit. He'll be safe. You've got to go get him back. And they're like, nope, he's gone. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have her find out, oh no, the Hydra got him and brainwashed him, and now she's got to fight him. That was actually a reasonable return story.
Yeah, where Steve actually kind of took the place of the Winter Soldier in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I really did like the Kahori reshaping the world, use the origin story going back to the kind of conquistadors with the Spanish um, invasion, shall we speak, of early America, um, and her going into the other world through the uh, Tesseract power cube, and then getting powers was a really good episode, and I liked how they created a new character. I wish they would do something with that character more, but I don't know how they would do it in comics in conjunction with how they do comics right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know if she's so much going to be in the comics, but I'm almost positive that she is going to be in the upcoming MCU. Like, what is it, Phase 5 or whatever now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to see something with that character.
I
Though.
think she's going to be a huge part.
Yeah.
So, and the episode was gorgeous. Like, it was just beautifully done. So,
Mm-hmm.
and again, a new character. So, that's always a good thing.
Yes. Okay. Your next favorite episode was let's see. I'm trying to see which one comes first. Yours or mine? Technically, nope. Yours is next. Okay. It's the episode 16, which was Hela with the 10 rings.
Yes. Um, again, a very well done episode. I just thought it was really cool because Hela even more powerful, but that change of heart where she's trying to like actually protect. She's not just the goddess of death.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a really cool twist
Mm.
on Hela's story.
Yeah, that one really didn't work for me that well. I don't know how to explain. It was a good episode. There's nothing wrong with it. I just kind of didn't quite get the blending of her being the Asgardian goddess of death with the Asian gods and powers and everything. It was just like,
Did you perhaps feel that it so fundamentally went against her character as the goddess of death that it was just off
no,
or wrong? Okay.
no. Because all Hela really wants is to be loved and appreciated, and she feels betrayed by Odin when he doesn't want to do what she wants to do, and he takes her powers, and she finds love with this new family, and that's why she protects her new family, and fights Odin. So I don't really think that that's inappropriate or anything. I think it's just I didn't see her. I just didn't see the Asgardian Norse culture blending well with the Asian culture as well.
They are kind of like diametrically opposed.
Yeah. So I was like, I was like, it was kind of a weird thing, but it worked. It worked well enough.
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay, so the next one would have been the Hulk versus the Mech Avengers, which I thought was kind of an interesting idea. Playing the Hulk up as basically Godzilla, and how the Hulkzilla versus Bruce being separate from the Hulk, separated, and how he resolves everything at the end, and tragedy and everything. I was like, that was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
The friendship between um, Sam Wilson and Bruce, and how that was played or not played, was well done. I wish we'd seen a little bit more of Sam as Captain America played up with Agent Carter or Captain Carter. You didn't see that in this series, which I thought was kind of strange.
Right.
So I was like, I would have liked to have seen that, but oh well. I did like the costumes, or not the costumes, but the mechas that they did, how they made them. It looked really well. So that would have been interesting to see more of. But it's a good one-shot story for what it is.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that in the actual MCU.
We might. I mean, it's just
I
a
mean,
matter.
I guess never say never, but
Yeah. Well, no. I
I
mean, it would have to be like something that our good friend Ben Dunn would do. But
right.
yeah. Well,
Yes,
the thing is, if you remember, they hired Ben years ago to do a Marvel manga
I
line.
did. Now that's just ringing a bell. Now that you mentioned that, yeah.
So I mean, it's possible they could bring that back and do that sort of a storyline if they really wanted to. So the next one is What If the Emergence, also known as Mysterio, destroyed the Earth, and features Riri Williams. I know Riri's not everybody's favorite character. She's not really mine either. But in this, they made her matter, I guess you could say.
Right.
She was reasonably well crafted. She did a good. They did a good job writing her, which isn't always what's happening in the comics. So I'll give that a decent nod as well.
I feel like, besides the fact that fanboys are like, no, Tony Stark, that's it, blah blah blah. I feel like a lot of the dislike for Riri is, at least in the MCU, is her stereotyping as like the angry black woman.
Yeah, there's that, and it's not just she wasn't really that in the MCU. I didn't think she was.
She
She's more
started
that.
out like that.
She's more like that in the comics to me than she is in the TV show in the movies. But regardless of which, the thing is, she would be so much better if she was something beyond just retrofitting and redesigning Stark Tech.
I agree with that.
And she has the potential for that intelligence. I remember I was talking about this character with the Ironheart comic years ago, where I thought that would have been really cool was that her father had developed nanotech that Stark wanted to do with, and somebody wanted to kill him for it, and he left it with her, and not knowing what it was, she swallowed it to get so that, and then nanotech turned her into like an Iron Maiden, and that all of her armor would be the nanotech outside of her skin and stuff like that.
That's pretty freaking cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and that would make then she could really be the Iron Maiden because she's actually trapped inside the nanotech as well.
Yeah. There's just so many more different avenues they could have taken besides, like you said,
right.
retrofitting Stark Tech. Yeah.
Right. So I would have done that, but but the character herself is kind of a little bit one-dimensional at times. So I think that's where people don't like that as well. So, but
right.
in this story, she's pretty good. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Then of course we have the episode with Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop in the Old West, which is really my favorite one of the whole series. I don't even really know the Kate Bishop character from Hawkeye. I've never watched the Hawkeye series. I've never read the comics with Kate Bishop. So I know virtually nothing about this character. In this, she just feels like a female two-gun kid, so to speak. And but the story with I can't think of his name. The character, the one that like has the watch and is actually the one mind controlling everybody.
Oh God. Yeah. Having a brain fart.
Yeah, but that character, and how they do the whole thing where she's almost trapped in it herself and everything. I was like, yeah, that was really well done. The reveal of who the Hood is, I'm not going to reveal it if you haven't watched it, and how that affects both Shang-Chi and Kate because of what Kate does at the end of the episode. I am amazed that they wrote it well enough that Shang-Chi kind of forgives Kate for what she does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to show that he has that, still has that center of calmness, that center of balance and understanding of the world around him in that moment, really shows you what the point of Shang-Chi and the whole martial arts vibe is. Whereas that wasn't played up as well in the Hela episode.
Right.
And I wish that it had been, because for me, even though Hela was still in a protective mode of her new family, she was still enjoying the fight.
Yeah, because that's the Viking side of her. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was still like not, she didn't have that sensibility for giving either. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, yeah, you didn't get what you were supposed to get out of that. You know? That's kind of where I was like that. So that was, whereas this one, I really liked it. I would love to see a regular ongoing 1872 with those two characters as they just traverse the Old West.
I could do that because I really like the Kate Bishop character. I don't know. I really
do. And, well, I mean, I would love to see like they could bring the Ghost Rider back in his Old West form.
That would be cool.
They could do different characters like Red Wolf, and Kahori could show up and it would fit right in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would love to see something like that.
That would be very cool.
And then of course, your next favorite one was the next to last episode. What if the Watcher disappeared? Oh, you just froze. You froze for a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just was rewatching it as before we came on. Just a really cool episode. I love those apocalyptic feeling episodes.
Stop saying
He's like, stop saying I thought it was a little. Go ahead. What'd you think? What'd you think of the episode?
And she just got him really good. Now it's got me laughing. Oh, wives. Anyway, I like Birdie in it, but I was really tired of seeing Peggy Carter by that point, and I knew where it was going, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, it made sense. Everything that was going on was fine. I'm like, but it was like, I know where this is going. And once I get to where I know what you're going to do before you do it, I lose something with it.
Yeah, you kind of lost me. Peggy Carter in for the kill shot. I thought that was kind of overplayed. Did you, like a lot of people, thought that it was that the whole female empowerment team thing was overplayed?
Yeah, they could have had at least one guy on the team. It wouldn't have hurt them any.
No.
Yeah. But again, which guy do you bring in then? Because they really, if you watch throughout the whole series, there really isn't a strongly written male character other than Shang-Chi.
Right.
And the other factor is, with Uatu being the one they're trying to rescue, it's not just a female empowerment, it's the male endangerment. It's the whole thing up. And I was like, well, okay, I know why you're doing it. I just wish there had been, I would have found another way to go about it and still had the same kind of story, but I would have been able to have at least one male character in it. Right. Even if it was like a Jarvis or something,
Right. Yeah. I
You
agree.
know, yeah. Or comedy relief. I mean, who would be the best comedy relief opposite Birdie for a male? Probably Ant-Man.
Howard? Howard the
Well,
Duck?
well, Howard's your dad, so we can't have that. But I mean, someone that's not related, so to speak. I would say Ant-Man would have been the best comic relief.
Yeah, yeah. That would have
You
been
know,
good.
and wasn't Ant-Man the one that was in the zombie head jar?
Yes. Hmm.
What if his head had been like the Jarvis for the ship?
That would have been cool.
That would have made sense and worked. Yeah, and it wouldn't have been like he's part of the team. He can make some smart ass comments, but he's not necessarily going to be like the guy who's going to save the day necessarily because he's just ahead on a ship. But
Right.
it would have balanced out something. You know.
So some of the episodes that I didn't care for, did you
Okay.
feel that um the Avengers getting killed by mysterious, darts? Did you feel that that was kind of ridiculous? Like, there's no way that could have happened.
um, it wasn't the best written episode. I'll agree with you there.
Like, how in the hell is Hulk with impenetrable skin and a healing factor gonna get stuck with
mhm.
that kind of stuff? It kind of irks me.
Yeah, it was not my favorite episode. True enough.
And then the whole Marvel zombie thing, I realize it's a what kind of virus
It's
is
a
it?
trending. It doesn't matter what kind of virus. We've seen enough zombies. We're bored with zombies. You just did an episode of zombies because there was a Marvel Zombies comic and The Walking Dead is cool and blah blah blah. But yeah, it was not necessary. No.
Yeah, and again, some of those characters
I
with
mean,
healing factors and invulnerability, there's just no way.
well, it's not even that. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, Strange screws up everything as Dark Strange, and everybody dies, and everybody comes back because he's still got the dark necromancy powers. So it's like that. That doesn't bother me. It's just that that concept never really appealed to me in any level.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm done with zombies.
yeah. So it's like, it's like you could come up with something better than that, but yeah, no biggie. I don't know if I really had any episodes. I mean, like I said, I'm nonplussed about those two that you just mentioned, but I wouldn't like say I hated them or that I didn't like. I guess you could say they were the worst of the lot, but they weren't bad. Does
I
that
would
make
have been
sense?
happier with instead of Marvel zombies, like Marvel drag queens or something. Like they all took a hit of ecstasy and like just decided to go crazy, and they all became drag queens. I would have enjoyed that more.
Well, with
Marvel,
that,
if you're watching,
let's talk about what I've heard about for season 4.
okay.
That's a great segue. Have you heard? There's rumor going around of a new season. What kind of stories will we be seeing, and what kinds of mixed up mayhem will they be cooking up for us in season 4? No, there is no season 4 that's been officially announced. I'm sorry, there hasn't, but the rumors do get flung about, and let's see what I have found. Uh-oh, somebody got into the poppy seeds. What cookie stuff has the review crew found that the Marvel is going to give us in the future? Feast your eyes on this, all you gum flapping fans, and let's see how much of this actually happens. Disney and Marvel Studios probably resent because dinosaurs make everything better. What if Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the T-Rexorcist?
Oh god, that's funny.
We all know nobody's going to hate that because nobody likes Moon Girl.
No, nobody likes Moon Girl.
But
Yeah.
maybe it'll be funny because maybe Moon Girl will be like will go like the girl in The Exorcist,
Reagan.
and yeah, and Devil Dinosaur is like the one who's gonna like scare the devil out of the devil.
Like Moon Girl gets possessed by what's his face, the devil in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
Mephisto, yeah, gets possessed by Mephisto, and yeah. Your mother knits socks in hell.
Yeah. Guess who just joined us?
Who joined us?
You can't see him?
I can't.
Come on, little one.
Oh, the Midnight Monster.
He's like, I want to see the Rexorcist. I like Rexorcists. Those are big, like lizards. I get to chase the lizards. Okay, what else did they got for us from next season? What if Iron Man went heavy metal? Robert Downey Jr. passes his iconic role down to country music sensation and Marvel superfan Brad Paisley, who will be starring as the new Iron Man, who took his skills to the music scene and became Marvel's top heavy metal rock god. But what will his good buddy Thor think of this? I'm the heavy metal god of thunder. I'm the prince of parties. Have at the iron fleas because it's time you got. Oh, come on, Goldilocks, don't say it. And this is actually a legitimate photo of Downey Jr. and Brad Paisley. That guitar is real. That was something he had made as a gift to Robert.
That's pretty cool.
So I was like, yeah, that's actually something they could actually do. And, to see that, would be really kind of interesting to see
right,
what would happen if Brad Paisley was playing, Tony Stark, because he could actually pull it off,
That would be cool.
But it's Ragnarok and roll, baby, with the universe hanging in the balance. And just wait till you see Rocket Raccoon, Angry Angus Rocket. Can you see Rocket Raccoon dressed as Angus in his schoolboy outfit?
That would be funny.
And
that would be hilarious.
What's this? There's a new contender. Could it be Girl Power? Lila Cheney, Joan Jett, and Allison Blair, Taylor Swift. Make MCU debuts in this episode. Don't miss it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That would be like, yeah, that's what we're going to see.
That would be so good, yeah.
Yeah, and, thanks to Scott Eaton for the art there. But just when you thought you'd seen and heard everything the Marvel Multiverse had offered, though, She-Hulk's assistant, Nikki Ramos, makes an appearance and serves Uatu with cease and desist papers for being a multiversal peeping Tom. And Uatu gets hauled into the multiversal court where She-Hulk is prosecuting and all of the Watchers. And this is another musical episode. You go with it, Chris.
Oh.
It drives my spider senses crazy. I always feel like Uatu's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, whoa.
And of course, Birdie's just getting a little bit fed up with Uatu, don't you? Don't tell me you just like to be bird watching. That's stalking. And you can imagine Natasha Lyonne saying that. I'm sure.
Right? Don't tell me you just like to birdie watch, Baldy. That's stalking.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, But yeah, we'll see what else they come up with. But I think what's really going to happen is that he'll face the justice he richly deserves, or maybe they'll just simply christen the series "What the."
Yeah, what the hell?
Which they actually need to do because that was an actual comic book series.
Was it?
Yep, there was a What the comic book series from Marvel. It was like Marvel's version of Mad Comics.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool for I don't know, about 30 issues or so.
I did not know that.
Yes. So there you go, folks. That is our topic for the night. And thank you for watching, as always. Next week, we're going to stick with the Marvel train, so to speak, because Chris has spoken, and John's going to be out of the office, so to speak, and Chris is craving him some what?
Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, I got to shake my head in shame. It's just not good. Anyway, we'll see you next time on Quoth the Raven. But in the meantime, if you want to reach out, it's Lewis Stop Right Raven on Facebook. At the Muskrat channel, you can find me at Lewis Bright Rave 2. DeviantArt.com/BrightRaven, where you can see some of my artwork. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven exclusively on YouTube. You have questions, comments, suggestions for topics that you'd like us to discuss, Quoth the Raven LBR72@gmail.com or LewisBrightRaven@yahoo.com. If you want to reach out to talk to Chris, he's at Christopher M. Hall 1973@gmail.com. And that is pretty much what we got for you. So we'll see you next time. Quoth the Raven, nevermore.